My name is Roger, 34 years old. Grew up in a small town with parents who believed in discipline, early mornings, and speaking only when necessary. Those lessons stayed with me all my life. Kept my head down, focused on work, avoided drama, and asked for very little. All I wanted was a steady life and someone to share it with. I worked in IT security at a logistics firm. It wasn't glamorous, but it paid well and gave me peace of mind. Then Stephanie appeared. We met at a company function I hadn't planned on attending. She was the exact opposite of me. Bold, self-assured, the kind of woman who turned heads the moment she entered a room. She had a presence that demanded attention. Somehow she noticed me. Our first exchange felt effortless, and soon we were spending every spare moment together. Dinners, late-night drives, quiet movie nights. She brought color to my world, and I thought I gave her stability. She made me feel like I was enough just as I was. Looking back, I realize I needed to believe that more than she actually meant it. Things escalated quickly. 6 months in, we moved in together, and a year later, proposed. Stephanie worked as a lifestyle consultant, helping people polish their image and shape their brand. I never fully grasped the details of her job, but she excelled at it. She could sell any idea, including the idea of us. At first, her energy felt thrilling, but over time it began to weigh me down. Subtle remarks chipped at my confidence. She mocked my clothes, rolled her eyes at my job, and once laughed, saying, "If I hear the word firewall again, I might go insane." She brushed it off as playful, but it stung. Still, I told myself I was overthinking. She was just direct, fashionable, outspoken. Maybe I was too sensitive. When wedding planning began, she took complete control. Designer gown, luxury venue, pricey photography. She didn't complain. I worked overtime, skipped breaks, and gave up vacations just to cover the cost. 'Cause isn't that what love means? You sacrifice, you bend, try to be what they need. Never occurred to me that I was the only one doing it. Then everything fell apart. It was a Tuesday, just another normal day of meetings. I finished early and decided to surprise Stephanie. She'd been stressed about the wedding, so I picked up her favorite Thai food on the way. I didn't text her. I wanted it to be thoughtful. But when I walked into our apartment, something felt wrong. The place was too still. No TV, no music, only silence. Then I heard her voice from the bedroom, light, playful. I froze in the hallway, my stomach sinking. A man's voice followed, calm and familiar. "Oh, we're still good for Thursday." "Of course," she replied. "He's working late. I'll have the place to myself." My grip on the food bag slipped. Wanted to believe I was mistaken, that she was joking or talking about someone. But then she said it. "I mean, I love Roger, kind of. He's reliable, but God, he's so boring. I have to fake interest when he talks about his work." Mark chuckled, clearly used to these. Then she added, "And the wedding? Of course it's still happening. You think I'm wasting that deposit? I want the photos. I spent months on this. I'll sort out the rest later." Something in me cracked. It wasn't only the betrayal. It was how casually she said it, like I was nothing but a stepping stone until she figured out her next move. I didn't storm in. I didn't yell. Didn't even let them know I was there. Instead, with trembling hands, I pulled out my phone and began recording. Kept talking, laughing about hotel suites, expensive wine, and perfect nights, all funded by me. The way she spoke, like I was a fool, like it was just a game. Cut. I let it record a bit longer, then slipped my phone away and quietly walked. By the time I reached my car, the food was still in my hand. I sat behind the wheel staring blankly ahead. I must have sat for an hour trying to grasp how the life I thought I had just collapsed. Silence filled the car. That was the moment everything shifted. Not during an argument, but there in my car with dinner, meant for someone who had just admitted she was using me. I didn't confront her right away. I knew if I spoke too soon she'd twist the story, cry, deflect, and somehow paint me as the problem. I didn't want another. I wanted the truth to hit her where it hurt, so I stayed quiet. If this was ending, it needed to be on my terms. The days after were unbearable. Went to work, came home, kissed her cheek, played along while inside I was crumbling. Every smile, every word between us felt staged. Meanwhile I was gathering proof, recordings, call logs, her calendar. Mark wasn't just Thursday. He was more. I confided in my friend Kevin, who had been through something similar. His words echoed. You don't owe her silence. That's when the plan formed. Stephanie had organized an extravagant engagement party, a rooftop lounge, catering, lights, photographer. To her it was more than a party. It was a social media showcase. She even captioned a post, calling it the next chapter of our love story. The time I said little. I let her run the but now that event would serve a different purpose. She thought it would be her spotlight. Instead, it would be my moment. I arrived deliberately late. By then she was already mingling, laughing, sipping wine, looking flawless in a black dress and red lipstick. The room buzzed with conversation until I stepped in. Unlike everyone else, I wasn't dressed up. Wore jeans and a plain t-shirt with "Trust is earned" across the front. Her smile faltered the second she saw me. Roger, what are you wearing? Are you all right? She asked. I walked to the DJ booth, tapped the mic, and let my voice carry. Hey everyone. Sorry to interrupt. I just want to share a few words about the woman I was supposed to marry. The atmosphere froze. She stiffened, her mother lowering her glass mid-toast. Stephanie is brilliant, ambitious, and beautiful, I continued. But she's also been seeing a man named Mark behind my back for months. Gasps spread through the crowd. I raised my phone, pressed play, and let her own words echo through the speakers. I still can't forget our last night. The hotel, the wine, the view. It was perfect. And Roger paid for it all. The reaction was instant. Shocked silence. A glass shattering, whispers cutting through the room. Stephanie rushed toward me, panic etched across her face. Roger, turn it off, she pleaded. What the hell are you doing? She hissed. I stood firm. I'm doing what you never did. I'm being honest. Then I turned to the crowd. There's no wedding, no engagement, no more lies. Thank you all for being here. I'm sorry you had to learn the truth like this. With that, I walked out. In the days after, my phone wouldn't stop buzzing. At first, her messages were long and desperate. Pages of explanations, begging me to believe I'd misunderstood. She claimed it wasn't what it sounded like, that stress over the wedding had pushed her to say things she didn't mean. Then came the guilt trips. I was just joking. Don't you know me better than that? When I stayed silent, her tone flipped. The voicemails grew sharp and frantic. You embarrassed me in front of everyone. You destroyed my life. You're heartless. You didn't have to humiliate me that way. The speed with which she shifted from apology to accusation left my head spinning. I blocked her number, changed every password, replaced the locks. Anything that still tied her to my life. She wasn't getting back in, not even an inch. The fallout hit her harder than I expected. Her polished image shattered. Clients backed away, and even her business partner reached out with a short note. You did what many of us wished we could. You showed people who she really is. Even her own sister admitted. I always suspected something was wrong. I'm sorry you had to find out like that. I hadn't done it for revenge. I did it because I needed the truth to matter. For months, I had shrunk myself, convinced I had to prove I deserved her. That night, I reclaimed my voice. For once, she had to face consequences without edits, filters, or applause. Only silence. It's been 6 months. Do I miss her? Not really. Maybe I missed the idea of her, the version I thought was real. The truth is, I loved the illusion more than the person behind it. I heard she tried to make things work with Mark, but it fizzled within weeks. Commitment was never his strength. Not surprising. As for me, I sleep soundly now. Laugh easier. I don't question my worth when I talk about my job or pull up in my old Civic. Dating isn't on my radar yet. I'm more focused on rebuilding trust in myself. If there's one thing this taught me, it's this. Pay attention when the quiet moments feel wrong. Listen closely to what someone says about you when they believe you can't hear. Because real love isn't built on grand gestures, fancy dinners, or perfect social media posts. It's built on respect.